This is Nita Farahny. I just posted a video, a cartoon video from the World Economic Forum. I've posted it before. I've done videos on her before. And if you saw that, you need to watch that to understand this video. But it's a short cartoon of how things will be in the future, and your brain waves will be monitored by your employer and by the state and by the science. And they bring it on the heels of how exciting and great this is. Yet most people's reaction to watching that cartoon video, and they're dead serious about it, most people's reaction is, no way. How could this possibly be allowed? But then at the end, it's her that comes out. And she says, what do you think of it? And then she proceeds to say, what if I told you we're already doing it? And I think that most Americans would see that and go, oh, right? Just have that, what? That appalling, like, what a violation. So if that was your reaction, that is the right reaction, by the way. But this is how you know that these people have no conscience, because that's not their reaction. Their reaction is that this is a good thing, that it's a good thing to violate people so much that they will intrude on their thoughts and know what they're thinking. And if you think this is a joke, it's not. It's not a joke. It's not a lie. The technology is always like 20 years ahead of what they tell you. They've been able to do the fake photos and that kind of stuff, even videos, for a long time. So I just heard that today from Joshua Phillips, who said that they only allowed that to come out because many different reasons. Back when Trump came into office, they disclosed that. Now, I don't know if it was because of Trump, but I'm just saying that it's been around. They've been able to fake videos, fake pictures for a long time. So what they're talking about with your brain waves, this is why this is the reason nurses, your Pyxis and your Omni cells, you have to give them your fingerprint data. It's all that slow way. I've said they bring this stuff in increments so that people don't catch on to it. But it's all been designed. That's why when I go ballistic about the hospital CEOs, it's because they've all been on board with this. They have. They know what it's about. I said the head of Northwestern, when I was there, the CEO, he was on some brain initiative committee. I can't find it now. But it was a site where you couldn't get into it unless you were a member. So this woman, she graduated from Duke. She graduated from Harvard. She's taught at Duke. She's taught at Vanderbilt. She heads up all of these different committees, all on bioethics. Bioethics. She should not be, when I did a video about her before, I said this. She should not be heading up anything, but maybe being in prison and heading up a prison riot. That's about the level that she should be heading up. Again, it's very simple here. The fact that it did not dawn on any of the World Economic Forum or people like her to think, I'm not getting up and saying this is wrong, or to care, because she spoke in front of the Senate talking about the bioethical issues here. But she didn't have a problem doing any of this, violating people. So she's an Iranian-American author and distinguished professor and scholar on the ramifications of new technology on society, law, and ethics. She is the author of the critically acclaimed book, The Battle for Your Brain. Defending the right to think freely in the age of neurotechnology. Does it seem like she cares about you thinking freely? No. Because she wouldn't have gone along with any of this. None of them would have. But the fact is, they want to violate people's rights. They want to violate people's rights so much so that they know your every thought. So I've said before, and other people have said this, there's some things worse than death. Yes, living under a system like that, to me and to many people, is worse than death. It doesn't mean I'm suicidal. It means that I would rather die than live under that. To have people like my employer and the government always knowing every thought, how I sleep, how I breathe. No, it's a violation that the world has never seen. And all these science and technology people went along with this. I don't know what happens to them in the Ivy League schools, but they most certainly learn how to be the most unethical human beings on the planet. Furthermore, about her, in 2010, Nita was appointed by President Obama to serve on the Presidential Commission for the Study of Bioethical Issues. This commission was created on November 24, 2009 by President Obama to advise him on ethical, legal, social, and philosophical issues in bioscience. She's testified before U.S. Congress during the hearing on what facial recognition technology means for privacy and civil liberties. She's done TED Talks. She's the head of so many committees. She poses the question, what value should be placed on the thoughts in our head, and what rights should humans have to be able to decide when, if ever, those thoughts are shared. The implications behind technology that can read thoughts are already being realized in China, where some workers are required to wear EEG machines under their hats in order to collect information on that worker's productivity, focus, and mood. She stated her concern that society is not adapting as quickly as technology is opining. I think this is because people don't yet understand or believe the implications. I think we understand the implications of what people like this who have no conscience being on committees of ethics when they have no ethics within themselves. We know the implications of that. We know the implications of how the universities, the science, the technology has gotten out of control because of our poor leadership in the White House time and again. But then all these people align with the UN, going back to Roosevelt. The leaders and politicians in this country care more about what the UN's human rights say. And they don't mention God, by the way, like our Declaration of Independence does. But this is Eleanor Roosevelt. This is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It is an international document adopted by the United Nations General Assembly that enshrines the rights and freedoms of all human beings. Drafted by a UN committee chaired by Eleanor Roosevelt, it was accepted by the General Assembly as Resolution 217 during its third session on December 10th, 1948, in Paris, France. Of the 58 members of the United Nations at the time, 48 voted in favor, none against it, 8 abstained, and 2 did not vote. So these people, all these people that aligned with the UN, that's why they hate the Constitution. I do not care what the international human rights says. My Declaration of Independence came long before that, and it says God gave me my rights. Not any biotechnologist, not any scientist, not any government, not any United Nations. And I think there's plenty like me in the country that will sooner fight and die before we let you do this and violate, down to violating our thoughts. Go to hell.